Our top story of the morning, the new developments into that failed terror attempt and the debate this morning as to where the accused bomber will be tried. Joining us from the Capitol, senior reporter for the Washington Independent, Spencer Ackerman. Pat Buchanan has said this guy is not an American citizen. He should not be treated like one in a court of law. What's your take on that?
Well, he's already been indicted by federal authorities. It doesn't really seem to make any sense, especially if we're talking about promoting the rule of law overseas in places like Yemen, not to try him in a federal court.
Pat Buchanan, I suspect you disagree with that assessment.
Well, yeah, I do. I think maybe the situation, I mean, the horse is out of the barn, but there's no doubt. I think when this fellow was apprehended, he was a foreign national, not an American citizen, engaged in an act of terrorism, and I think he should have been put under immediate hostile interrogation, not read his Miranda rights, not be allowed to see a lawyer. And if that happened, he obviously could get off in any kind of federal court, but I think maybe the decision has already been made. But if it has, I think it was a mistaken decision.
Yeah, Spencer, on the flip side of it, I mean, understanding that you think that the Gitmo has not ultimately accrued to the benefit, the national security interest of this country, I mean, Pat does raise a point. They would have had a lot better luck interrogating this young man if they had made him an enemy combatant and not immediately indicted him, as you pointed out, where he gets all the rights and privileges of a U.S. citizen, all those legal privileges. I mean, what's your argument to that?
Well, is that really true? I mean, we've seen that we've gotten a whole lot of bad information from torturing people. I don't really understand the argument that because every single time we have a new emergency, we have to forget about the hard lessons we've learned in the past over this. And then secondly, by every standard that we've seen so far, every piece of reporting, the guy cooperated. He immediately said he was a member of al-Qaeda. He started talking in a threatening manner about how there were other attacks coming. So I'm not really sure where we, make this jump to the idea that we're not getting information from the guy. Certainly that's not what Janet Napolitano said. That's not what President Obama said. And that's not what anyone has alleged, really, outside of the show.
Well, what I'm saying is the first and highest priority when you apprehend him is not to make sure he gets his constitutional rights, he's not even a citizen, but to get all of the information you can about where he came from, who trained him, where they are there other attacks coming, where are they coming, and if that means, frankly, you have to deny him pain medicine because this guy's badly burned, I think you go ahead and do that. I'm not arguing for torture, but I am arguing, nobody is, but I'm arguing for hostile interrogation of this fella because our job is to protect American lives. It's not to make sure his Miranda rights haven't been violated.
So you're arguing for torture but with a different euphemism for it?
Well, no, I'm arguing for the fact that this is an enemy soldier who's about to try to commit a mass atrocity, and the idea that you're treating him like some guy that held up a 7-Eleven, it seems to me preposterous. We are at war, in a war on terror, and the criminal justice system for American citizens is a different thing.
Well, except for all of the hundreds of terrorists that we've convicted in federal courts over the years that we're able to hold, that we're able to incarcerate successfully, and that we're able to get information out of. I mean, the fact is that al-Qaeda is a dangerous and really important threat, but they're also not a super army of supermen with, like, Muslim heat vision and so forth. And it's ludicrous to think that we should inflate how dangerous they are because that's exactly what they want us to do.
Well, look, there are 3,000 dead people who can testify to how dangerous they are. And again, when you have enemies who are coming... But look, these are not normal. Look, take Khalid Sheikh Mohammed. If we find out where his friends are, we don't issue a warrant. We don't send the ACLU out there to read him his rights. You send him a cruise missile, and you may kill members of his family. We can't do that with John Gotti on Long Island. So there's a difference between these criminal organizations, which some people don't seem to understand. This is a war.
Hey, Spencer Ackerman, great to have you in the conversation this morning. We appreciate you joining us. We'll let you and Pat go out for drinks tonight and talk about denying people pain medication. It'll be great.
Merry Christmas, Spencer.
All right. Spencer, thanks so much. Appreciate it.
Hey, thank you, guys.